You think Dan Quinn really is that good of a head coach to lead us to a Super Bowl? Is he really that freaking good?
Well, he's proven to me that you just talked to me as soon as you came up. You said that you wanted him fired. So I mean, you just answered your question. You know what I'm saying? So in my eye, we've already seen that he was blocked last year. It's well documented that he knew he was going to get fired unless he won the games. So I guess really from the standpoint of what has transpired, no one can say yes. He probably can't even say it from the standpoint of he's given no evidence since that Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying, to that, you know what I'm saying, that he can do it. So I guess when you want to look at the Super Bowl, man, and me as a Falcon fan who lived in both sides of it with Arthur Blank, me watching him and also Taylor Smith when I was here, I think one of the big things as far as with Dan Quinn, I think a lot of perception was lost because that season Dan was looked at as, you know, people say he's the greatest coach in Falcons history, you know, because of the turnaround. In which, hey, the turnaround that season was incredible. I mean, they deserve a lot of credit. But what happened is, before Arthur Blank, the Falcons were old regime with Taylor were looked at as country bumpkins. We're no good. We, you know, didn't have the things they had. He's a better owner. That history is terrible, what we had. And they don't want to be associated with it. So I think part of what affected Dan Quinn, when they lost the game 28-3, everything that ever happened before Arthur Blank was trumpeted. Every losing season, no one talks about that ever again. So Dan Quinn's perception in the Falcons organization changed from it's the hottest new program in the game, and Dan Quinn's a part of that. But when we lost that game 28-3, they were lumped in with everything we ever did, but it's 20 times worse. So Dan has to carry that. The guy in San Fran, he ain't carrying it, but except in Atlanta. So from Dan Quinn's standpoint, hey man, you know, it's not a lot of people out here feeling sorry for Dan, but from my standpoint, I just think it has a lot to do with the players also making plays. You know, Dan, those guys, you know, they can't make decisions like him being a coordinator or changing coordinators in the season. You know, I think you just got to make plays, man. You just got, I mean, it comes down to ultimately players make coaches look good. So I wanted some time, okay, guys, make him look good. All right, Dan, make your guys look good. That's how it usually goes, man. So, yeah.
Okay, one more. Dre wants to say something about one of his favorite players. Go ahead, Dre.
Okay,
got to get that
out. Well, it's not really my favorite play. I just want to. First of all, I just want to say it's a privilege and an honor to have a Falcons legend on the show. This is real big for me. You know, I'm trying not to be too nervous right now because I've seen you play. You know, that Super Bowl run, you and Travis Hall, those guys, you made our defense, you know, go toe-to-toe with some great teams. I mean, that NFC Championship game in '99 was probably one of my greatest games I ever witnessed, the way that y'all handled that high-powered offense. My question to you is this: with the moves that the Falcons have made as far as signing pass rushers like Dante Fowler, and we picked up Marlon Davidson in the draft, Grady Jarrett. Yeah, I know Tat McKinley's kind of on a show it, prove it type deal.
Yeah.
Do you think the Falcons made enough moves to solidify that front line to get some pressure on the quarterback this season?
Most definitely. I think the Falcons did a fantastic job setting the table with Dante Fowler, who I said a lot of times he's trending up. He has a signature move. Dante left Jacksonville. He left the Rams. He developed a signature move. He had the tutelage of Robert Quinn. He learned a lot also from Jacksonville, from a few guys there. But I think Fowler's the one who set the table because I already know he's going to win one-on-ones. I mean, the Falcons, you guys are going to really love the guy. He can go. He's tough. He got that dog in him, you know. And I think that also helps Grady from the standpoint of they can run games. You know, the Falcons, he'll be more effective running two-man games. And I just think, you know, Fowler was a great way to set the table. And I think it also sent the message, really, honestly, to the D-line, and particularly Tat. Hey, man, we're going to need you to step up. Davidson, I think they got to steal where he's at. The guy can go, he can run, he's tough. You know, again, all this is college now. I mean, you got to show me. But I think
Yeah.
watching him, he uses movement. He plays, like his hair is on fire. I think the Falcons were lucky to get him right there because I had him almost to the back of the
Yeah.
first round.
Yeah.
I think with those guys out there, I think part of the plan is they want to put Davidson inside. They want Tack to hope he can develop to the outside, which anything can happen. And I think they're taking a flyer on Charles Harris. I'm very familiar with Charles, just more as a friend and knowing him. I trained him one day when he was at Missouri. Him and Marcus Golden are really good friends. So I was training Marcus. He was in the pros, and he's a good guy for the room. But I tell you this, man, he's got a shot, man. I mean, Charles got a lot of athletic ability, and sometimes change is really good. So I'm really expecting Charles to come in here and with his pride factor, really be successful. And I think from Tack's standpoint, it comes down for him and Charles are the same guy at the end of the day, same draft. They got to develop a move. You got to, man. That's what Fowler's here because he developed a move. Fowler would have been out the league probably probably his fifth year if he didn't learn how to use a signature pass rush move. He uses moves, man. He got some juice, you know what I'm saying? But, I really think that they got something good. But I think Davidson, again, he's a rookie, but I think he's going to come in there and shake them dudes up really quick, man. I think the offensive line, they're going to need that. And what I'm looking for, I kind of talked about this the other day on the radio with some guys. The brotherhood is cool, man. I love the brotherhood. I think it's cool. The philosophy.
He go with this.
Yeah, but sometimes you got a little brother. You got the brother that when you go out to eat and somebody buck up, he's swinging, but you still love him.
That's it. I know he was going there. I knew he was going there.
Definitely.
You love him, but we need somebody, man, that when things go wrong, he's willing to get at him. He's played good enough where he has the credibility to have that gorilla emoji. He's in the brotherhood, but on Sunday after the game, he wilding out, and I want Julio to pull him up at Flowery Branch, say, "Big dog, calm down a little bit." We need a goon, man.
You know what? That interview that I saw with him, that really a lot of people were kind of offended by it, but you gotta understand, football is a physical sport. You have to have, like I said, I call them knuckleheads. Everybody wants choir boys on their team that win championships, but you need a couple knuckleheads to kind of have that edge as far as your team. You need that swagger, kind of like what Richard Sherman did with Seattle. You need that swagger. So when Marlon did that, I had no problem with that because you need somebody that can knock some heads.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you this, like Marlon, and then coming from college, there's no one that says you can't come in and be a beast. Look at Bosa, Nick Bosa at San Fran. So I just need that kind of guy, man. I need some guy to kind of break the stereotype we have now of the brotherhood. We need a head buster, man. So, and I think also, here's the best example. Frank Clark ain't exactly the kind of guy you want to send your daughter out there in Kansas City. Did you see him after the game? Have you guys go put in Frank Clark? He is an absolute head buster. Frank Clark is an absolute thug on the field. Chris Jones, man. They got some dudes out there, Tyreek Hill. You don't have to always be cookie cutter. Think about the champs, man. Think about the Ravens, Ray Lewis. Matter of fact, think about now the Ravens. Man,
that's it.
They just picked up Calais Campbell. They just picked up Calais Campbell, who's another guy that nobody really talks about. Yeah, Calais Campbell. That's another one. Yeah.
We got Calais.
What about